And we're live. How are you this evening, Brian?
I'm living the dream. How about yourself, Chuck?
Not too bad, not too bad. Surgery went okay?
Yeah, yeah. It took. It was less than a Leonard Skinner song because that was what was playing in the procedure room when they went through, and yeah, it was crack crack crunch crunch, portion payment, and you're out of here. So yeah, easy as.
Nice. All right, so I think this was going to be a fun one.
I think so.
So I went through Reddit and I went through a bunch of the forums and I picked 5 questions that were in the forum that people were talking about. And none of these had to do with like a training plan or, how do you unscrew trainer roads or that type of stuff.
Right.
So I figured that we would go through and we would kind of look at a couple of these questions and tell everybody what we think.
I'm excited about this one because it's the real nuts and bolts of bicycle racing, right? It's the kind of the nitty gritty stuff that doesn't get mentioned often enough, I guess.
All right, so we'll throw the first one up. Post cyclists recover and perform day after day for weeks. What's the biggest thing amateurs misunderstand about recovery?
It's a good question. You want to take this one first, or you want me to take this one?
Um, Go ahead. I got a couple items, but I have a feeling you're going to hit this.
Well, so I think I think you have to really know your body, pay attention to this stuff. We have all of this information and data that we can look at, which I'm going to defer to you on that. You're the data guy with this particular pairing, but listen to your body. When you're riding, so I've basically dug myself a really deep hole in the gym this week, and I was on the bike this morning, and the instant the elevation changed, um, everything went. No, we're not doing this today. When you have one of those days, yeah, it's probably your body telling you. You should probably knock it off for a couple days, take a couple easy rides, go enjoy the weather, hang out with the wife, do whatever. But um, difficulty sleeping, weird heart rate. It's either going up way too high or it's not going up at all. Um, just general malaise, general fatigue, general. I really don't want to be on this freaking bike right now. That's probably something that you should have listened to about 3 days prior to feeling that way. So that's my general answer.
So I'm going to take a little different approach because I agree with 100% of what you said. But I think I want to talk more about like a recovery week.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is time and time again, I'll get athletes who are like, "Oh, I can't take a full week because I'm losing so much fitness. I'm, you know,
Yeah.
I during my recovery week, I feel like I got malaise and I'm not going to be able to get back into the rhythm and stuff like that." So going back to the data, yes, you might lose CTL, but you're not losing fitness.
Correct.
And I think that's the thing that amateurs just don't understand, that when the pro peloton, when they take a recovery day, they recover. I guess the other thing I would say is a recovery day is still training. It's not a non-training day. It's a training day, but your body's doing that muscular adaptation. Your body's rejuvenating. It's doing those things on top of where you're talking about like HRV and that type of thing. So
Absolutely. Recovery, massage, all of that stuff, diet, nutrition, sleep, that's all training.
yeah,
And it all needs to be looked at training,
and
looked
fifty
at
percent,
as training.
yeah, and 50% of the gym, you're making the movements. You're not. It's one of those things. It's like just go and get on the bike and pedal, and you're not losing fitness. You're
Correct.
gaining fitness because the body is now adapting.
Yep. And you'll notice that the instant you take that first one and you just get over all of that, and try it. You'll notice a significant improvement in your cycling coming off that recovery week. And it typically takes a day or two to get back into that rhythm you were talking about. But at the end of the day, you know, you're going to find yourself going significantly better all the way around, bike, gym, etc.
Recovery is vital, especially if you're our age.
Yes.
Recovery days can almost be just as important, if not more important, than those interval days.
Yep. When you hit that 29, you're, it's all over the hill at that point, for sure.
Right. All right. So when something nobody what's something nobody warned you about cycling until you experience it?
So my first thought on this was the first time I got inadvertently, snot rocketed in the middle of a criterium, right? And it touches home with the whole nose surgery thing and some of the interesting things I've done in the last 24 hours. But um, how unbelievably, I don't know, the big thing that really sticks with me is how unbelievably freaking fast the first lap of a bike race is. Um, you know, and it catches me by surprise 42 years into it. I know it's going to be fast. I warm up like I'm going to ride a 500 from a standing start and then figure out what to do with the rest of the group that's around me. But that's kind of how you have to actually prepare for it. Um, that was always the big one for me was, God, we got 74 minutes and 38 seconds left. We don't need to be going this hard.
The number of times I've told my Cat 5 athletes, look, if you can survive the first 9 minutes, you're in for the long haul.
Yeah.
Just go hard. But let's back away from racing just for a moment. Let's what about those non-racers? Because the thing that come to my mind
Uh-huh.
was that, you know, cycling is a huge ego check.
Oh yeah.
You,
Yeah.
you don't think about it until you're, you know, we have to go back to racing again until, you're a Cat 5. Well, I was a citizen because we didn't have Cat 5s then. And I wasn't going to be dropped by this girl, a professional woman cyclist.
Uh-huh.
And, in a lot of French, Jenny Longo told me to get off her wheel.
you've been chicked by the best. Yeah.
Yeah, well, but still, I mean, your ego just, it's crushing, but you need to know that because the, our sport, whether you're doing it for fitness or whether or not you're doing it for group rides, more than likely there's somebody in that group is going to be faster than you.
Oh yeah.
You're not going to be the king of the or the queen of the pack.
Absolutely. And you can't really tell either. One of my favorite cycling stories is I went on probably the very first, maybe the first or second group ride. I was riding for this little club in Tempe, Arizona, and this 82-year-old man who happened to have a bicycle company named after him that I wasn't aware of at that time. It was like, I don't know who this old dude is, but I'm going to attack. And he smacked me into the gutter and rode away from me and made me look absolutely stupid. So yeah, check the ego. Whoever's around you, I mean, I live in Colorado Springs, I see Olympic gold medalists, on the bike path on a fairly regular basis. There's people out there that are going to be faster. And the only way you're going to get better at what you do is to check that ego, figure out what you can learn from those faster people, and start working harder.
Yeah, I mean, even group rides are a performance test.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, my best FTP test ever was 20 minutes of hell hanging on to whoever I happened to be around that particular day.
Getting dropped on no drop rides suck.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So yeah, so I think that cycling really, really forces you to check your ego. Yes, yeah,
Yep,
that's the
for
one that I think is the most. So
Yep. Yeah, I would agree with that. That's definitely the big one. Everything else, if you can check the ego, you're going to learn something from the group ride, and you're going to become a better cyclist for it.
yeah, I mean, we could always talk about saddle sores and stuff like that, but most people kind of know that's a possibility of the sport. Um, but so
Good, good bike fit always solves that issue, or should solve that issue, if it's a good bike fit. The caveat was good bike fit. So, yep, I think that solves that one.
all right, what about this one? We've all had that moment where the legs shut off and the group rides away.
It's
What
a nice
causes
little,
that? Yeah.
nice little segue from that one.
What
We
causes
can.
it? How to prevent it? And let's talk about two things. Let's talk about just your normal group ride and racing.
Okay, yeah, and I think it's. I mean, I used to do a Tuesday group ride that we referred to as the Tuesday World Championships, because if you did that group ride, the only thing that made it not a race was the fact that you didn't have a number on, because it was a
Right.
bloodbath. But um, you know, the obvious one I think for me is, are you fit enough? Are you doing the right things for said group ride? If it's a big climby 5 hour, super long, nasty, let's go through the Rockies and climb 14,000 feet. Um, you have to prepare for that. And if it's a quick, fast, snappy criterium like group ride, you got to prepare for that. With all of that said, mountain biking, same thing, right? Whatever segment of riding you need to do, if you're going to go on that group ride, you need to be physiologically prepared for how that group ride goes. Talk to somebody about it. Go, okay, so what happens at this group ride? Intel is always valuable. And then there's a couple things you can do, segueing from the last segment. If you're new on the group ride and things are slowing down and you're going, oh, I'm feeling really good, I'm gonna show all these people on this group ride because I didn't check my ego. Just how cool it is. You turn the corner and there's the Manitowoc Wall right there in front of you, and then suddenly everybody's like rolling you backwards in the field. Sit there, evaluate it, look at what's going on, look at who's doing what, and then you've got the technique things, right? If you're opening up gaps on a wheel and surging into it, and opening up gaps and surging into it, and oh, there's an attack, I'm going to chase that attack, and not reading the ride correctly and chasing everything that moves forward down when nobody else is doing it, that's going to cook you on a group ride. I would park myself in a new group ride, front third of the group ride, find a good wheel, and hopefully he's, I'm assuming because there's not that many 6'6", 280-pound female cyclists around. But if there is, I'm parking behind her too. I'm going to find the smoothest, fastest, most consistently fluid rider I can, and I'm going to suck wheel on that first group ride just to figure out what's going on. Once I have established what's going on, then we can talk about playing with it. But that would be my first thought.
Yeah, I mean, group rides, races, they expose preparation. I mean, what's the saying? The you know something where what you can't do today is a result of what you didn't do yesterday. It's just
Yes.
that
Don't
whole
do. How does that go? Don't be disappointed in what you didn't accomplish today for what you didn't do yet, or something to that effect. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what it is. So it exposes that lack of preparation. Um, and it is from an overall just kind of a group ride perspective. You have to think about that nutritional side of the house. If you are going out on a 3.5 hour, 4 hour ride with your buddies, and you're thinking you can do it on a single bottle of water, don't
Yeah.
be surprised at 3.5 hours when they're pedaling away from you because you're like, I'm just not feeling great. Imagine that.
And there's two types of cyclists: those that have bonked and those that have not yet. And
Right.
if you haven't bonked yet, I would try really hard to avoid it because it's really just not that fun, especially when you're 30 miles out of town and you got to go back.
Right. Yeah, and then you know, um, in group rides, so races that kind of exposes preparation. You haven't done the training, you're not there, you're unable to hang with the folks that you're in a ride with. um, I think that group rides kind of a lot of times exposes judgment, and it's exactly what you're talking about. These aren't NASCAR events. Your sponsor's not expecting you to be on the front. And
Right.
the thing of it is, you and I, if we're out doing a group ride and we're leading a group ride, we wouldn't necessarily expect the person tail gunning on the back trying to hold on to take a pull. It's not necessary, and sponsors aren't watching. So
Right. Right. And you don't get any points for being in the front anyway. I just thought of something that I guess I'd never really thought of before. Um, concerning those fast group rides. I mean, a group ride, there's sane group rides where it's a no drop group ride. There's the fast ones where it's like you're all on your own, and this is a bloodbath, and you may as well pin a number on because I'm pretty sure there's a trophy at the end of this thing. The way everybody's going. Um, One of the things that just dawned on me that is a good evaluator of, are you strong enough for the group ride? Is it a strength issue? Is it a physiological training issue, or is it a technique issue? Is How do you compare with that same group in like a time trial where, yeah, obviously you still have some technique, but you have significantly less. I mean, you're certainly not drafting, you're certainly not placing yourself in the race. If you can hang with them, in that time trial scenario, it's probably going to be a technique thing. So if you're looking to evaluate, what do I need to do here? Do I need to train harder? Do I need to get better at holding a wheel? Do I need to eat more? Um, that's one of those things that just popped into my head that might be a good indicator of how you approach that.
no, I
No, I
agree. I
agree.
mean, and it's that B rider trying to hop in the A ride.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
And there's stair steps too, right? It's like, um, I try to describe every step from brand new beginner, never been on a bike before, never done any of this before, to top end, international caliber rider. Everything's a stair step. When you go from a 5 to a 4, it's a step up, and then that platform of that stair, depending on how long it takes you to to advance to that next step, to the bottom of that next step, is going to be longer or shorter. And everything you do is a step up, right? So if you go from a 3 to a 2, it's a step up. If you go from a 2 to a 1, it's a step up. When you go into the Conti Pro ranks, it's a step up. When you go into the Euro Pro ranks, it's a step up. Everything is a step up. So you have to understand that and trust the process, and do your time with it as well.
all right, let's go into the next one. People say cycling changed their life. What makes cycling stick for people when other fitness habits don't? So, riding is fun. I mean, I mean, I threw down some notes like, I've never gone out for a fun run. I've never gone to a pool to do laps to have
Fun,
fun.
fun, fun laps. that's that's hilarious in its absurdity.
um, I, it's like when I played soccer at a fairly high level. I mean, that took a lot of arrangements. I mean, you had to arrange for that type of stuff. Um, Other than maybe yourself and Dana, going to the gym isn't like fun. I mean, it's gonna suck. It's gonna hurt. um,
Yeah.
so that's just kind of to me the reason why cycling sticks is because the barrier to entry is so low when it comes like tomorrow morning. You and I can get up. You in Colorado, me here in Northern Virginia, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. We could go for a bike ride and not have to coordinate with anybody other than ourselves
Nope.
and just kind
Throw
of
some
enjoy it.
shoes and a helmet on and pump some tires up, and you're out the door. Yep.
So, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. You know, and I think that's the key thing, right? We all, my cycling goes back to being, a kid and freedom, and I'm going to ride, I would go out in the summers when I was 12, and I'd disappear for 8 hours and ride my bike everywhere and just wander around. And that freedom, that just pure enjoyment of, I can jump on this thing and I can go wherever I want. I think is the big compelling thing for me. And I know, you and I have a lot of structure and a lot of specificity and a lot of, training is a grind at times, right? Throwing your leg over a bike and going out and doing a specific, you know, rather unpleasant, let's go do kilo efforts or something, something that nobody in their right mind should ever like, right? But it's what we have to do to achieve what we're trying to achieve. And I think the important thing is that I have to remind myself of that every once in a while. It's like, you know what? I'm just going to go on a bike ride today, and reconnect with that reason that 42 years ago I decided I was going to jump into all this silliness and spend three or four fortunes on, and all of that. And it really just comes down to the love of being able to ride a bike and go fast. I like going fast. Um, you know,
I'm only laughing because you have no idea the segue that you just did.
all right, let's hear it.
What has cycling ruined for you? Time, money, expectations, and how do you keep it healthy instead of obsessive?
Um, I have no good answer for any of that because time, money, relationships, a social life, a life of any kind whatsoever, and yeah, it's not healthy. It's just a complete obsession, and I'm stuck. Sorry, Chuck. This was all you, baby.
Well, that's the thing that it kind of goes back to the whole, what do they not tell you? Well, if you want to be good at this sport, it's going to take a lot of time. What do they didn't tell you? If you're going to be good at this sport, it's going to hurt. It's going to take a lot of effort. Um, and then, none of us have actually ever outridden the equipment we're currently on, but we got to upgrade it.
You have to upgrade it. Yeah, you can't you can't be seen with that thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, no, I was thinking about the fact that
a year
if
and a
I
half
just
ago, those Dixie Flyers we were on were perfectly good bikes.
yep, yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about it, and if I take any of the bikes I own, and it doesn't matter which bike it is, any of them, I throw them into the back of my car. I've doubled the value of that vehicle by throwing whatever it is. My winter fixed gear bike is worth more than my car at this point. I love my car to death, but she's getting a little old.
Dan and I went rolling down the road one day to, I think, Masters Nationals in Augusta for a road. We had a Scott Addict, which was my bike, a Scott Foil, which was her bike, a Scott Plasma TT bike, which was mine, another Scott Plasma TT bike that was mine, and we had zip rear discs for two in the back. We had 404s and 808s in the back, and my Forerunner.
Yep.
If we'd have wrecked, my insurance wouldn't have covered it.
No, no, your insurance would have covered it, and that's a pretty good yearly salary, really. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, the sport is, and that's probably the big thing. I mean, you're just going to have to spend a ridiculous amount of money in the sport. It's not, as much as I hate to say it, it's not a viable thing to do without dropping a fairly significant wad of cash into. And that's probably that in my opinion is the single worst thing about the sport, is just um, the ability to afford it. It's a stretch. Yeah, for sure.
So how do you keep it healthy instead of being obsessive? I don't have an
Like I,
answer to
like I said, I don't have an answer either. I think you just accept the obsession and call it good. I've had this unhealthy obsession about racing my bicycle for most of my life at this point, and yeah, I'm I'm not a recovering cyclist, so I'm just full in with it, and I've always joked that I'm just going to drop over dead in the infield of a velodrome someday, and hopefully my riders around me will just drag me out of the way and keep moving. So
and divvy up your shit.
yeah, that's right.
Man, will
you
those
got to
Rocket Sevens
you got to
fit
take the
me?
car too. That's right. I wear a 42, perfect. Yeah. So yeah, I don't have a good answer for that. I think you just go, yeah, okay. I don't know I don't know if you have a significant other that is into the sport, if it's better or worse. Uh, I've 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 only approached that one direction. Well, no, I've approached it both directions, I guess. And I don't have a good answer. Sorry, I've rambled on for 5 minutes and I couldn't give you an answer on that.
So those were our questions we pulled off of Reddit. However, I have a bonus question.
This question, gotta love the bonus questions.
And I apologize because I didn't prep you for this one. But what is in your gym bag? So, what's one item that you would absolutely not get rid of?
Okay.
What's one item that you're probably carrying around that you could get rid of? And what's the one item, if it breaks, you're going to immediately replace it?
Ooh, that's an interesting question. Aside from gum wrappers and probably an old dried out stick of deodorant floating around in the bottom somewhere that I haven't seen for the last 2 years, let's see. What would I keep? I would keep my old archaic. There's a pattern here, people. Two pronged clasp 8 mil lifting belt that I get made fun of on a regular basis
All
by
right.
my son and everybody else. That goes with me everywhere. Sometimes it doesn't come out of the bag, but it goes with me everywhere, and that's never going to leave my gym bag. Something I should pitch. I should probably pitch my 30-year-old lifting straps because I'm pretty sure, you know.
But no, this isn't something you're going to pitch and replace.
Oh, I just got to pitch it, huh?
Yeah. Is there
Um,
is there anything that you drag to the gym on a daily basis that you could probably just get rid of? So, for instance, like I've got some of the shin guards for deadlifts.
right. Uh huh.
Now, Dana will tell you that she's not going to deadlift without hers because she's like, I'm not scraping my shins anymore because these things are great.
Right.
I could
Sure.
probably go, yeah. Now, my barefoot shoes, I could not get rid of those.
Nope. They stay in the bag. Yep.
I don't. I walked into the gym. I put those on. I'm Mister Rogers. I mean, those are
Right.
I don't wear street shoes in the gym, so those are going to stay.
Yeah.
Um, and
I,
I
I-
agree.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to say that stretching strap. With the one with the multiple loops that you can put your foot in, and because I never use it, it rattles around. Um,
Did you see the cat?
I saw the cat really close to the guitar, so I
Oh
cringed
yeah,
a little bit. That stretching strap. You know what I'm talking about? I don't even know
yeah.
what the called, right? That it rattles around in my bag. It never comes out because I'm notoriously bad about not stretching. So I'm gonna have to get rid of that because I've basically narrowed down my bag over the years that it's pretty much just stuff aside from that dried up stick of deodorant down in the bottom somewhere that that are that I use on a regular basis that come
So
out all the time.
that's a that's an interesting segue, and maybe we'll do a show on this. But just real quickly, you've got a new athlete.
Uh-huh.
Um, you're coaching roadies like me,
Okay.
and most roadies, they've always avoided the gym for whatever reason, and they're like, "Hey, you give them a training plan, you want them starting a gym. What do you think are the necessary pieces of gym equipment? I mean, we already talked about on the road. I mean, they're going to buy the nicest helmet. They're going to try to buy the deep dish aero wheels. They're going to get the carbon fiber bike. They're going to get the carbon fiber, bottle holder on their frame. I mean, they're going to get that pelican or peacock looking thing hanging off the ass end of their bike with tubes and everything else. But what would you say should be in their gym bag? What should they invest in?
I'm going to go with uh, probably in this order. I am going to go um, with shoes, with lifting shoes. You mentioned your barefoot. I have two pair of lifting shoes. I have my deadlift barefoot shoes, and then I have my ollie lifting, weightlifting shoes with a little bit of heel wedge. Um,
Yeah, I've
you
got
know,
I've got my barefoots and my squats.
yeah, yeah. So, um, do you need two pair of shoes? Probably not starting out, but I would look at your mobility, your ankle and hip mobility. There's a couple things you can do to decide whether you need that little wedge to make sure you're getting full range of motion. The fuller range of motion, the wider the useful part of the muscle belly is going to be activated. So you're only riding like a quarter squat, but if you do a full squat, you've basically expanded that muscle fiber from end to end, and it works better. It
And
fires
don't
more efficiently.
and don't forget, running shoes are made to collapse in the heel.
Yes, I
So
used
if
to
you're
blow out Nike Airs all the time because of the air bladder, right? So
Yep.
a zero shoe. If you're gonna go lift, if I somebody walked up to me in the street and said, I'm gonna go, I want to go to the gym tomorrow. What do I need to bring? And I'm not gonna go to the store and buy anything. It's like, do you have a pair of Vans? Do you have a pair of Chucks?
Yeah.
Does your gym let you walk around in socks? And I would start there, but a good lifting belt. Not one of those little Velcro-y weird what are the nylon canvasy things.
If you're watching this, if you can put on your lifting belt when you walk in the gym, do your entire hour and a half there and leave, it's not a good lifting belt. You
Yeah.
should have to almost die walking up to the bar. And as soon as that bar gets re-racked, all you want to do is just tear that shit off.
Yep, and that's the first thing you do. You watch Brian Shaw. You watch some strongman, doing a squat or a deadlift. The very first thing they do as soon as they picked up the weight is step away from the platform and hit that quick release buckle on a modern weightlifting belt to just take that pressure off. Right. So shoes, weightlifting belt.
What about lifting straps?
I'm a big fan of lifting straps simply because you've got three different courses of action, right? So my legs, my lower body is strong enough uh, that I can out deadlift my grip strength.
Right.
I can't hang on to a bar with the weight I actually need to use for a deadlift. So I've got three options. I can either do a cross grip lift, which is going to put me slightly off balance. I'm not going to be centered. I'm not going to be using left and right musculature equally on that because of the cross grip thing. I lopped off the end of my thumb on a bandsaw incident that we won't go into at one point. So I don't have enough grip. You could do a hook grip where you're basically grabbing your thumb and it's acting like a lifting strap because you're just basically pulling on your thumb. If you've never tried that, you should try it once with some amount of weight because it hurts like hell until you
Yep.
get used to it. Or you can use straps, and I use straps all the time.
Yep.
And if I'm going to do a powerlifting meet, then I'll do a cross grip because you can hang onto the bar because it rotates against itself, so it doesn't roll out of your hands essentially. But other than that, I'm not going to do a cross grip with anything, and I can't pick up the weight I'm supposed to pick up without straps, and I can't do a hook grip. So, yeah. Mock
Yeah,
me if you shall, but I'm taking the grips.
yeah, I'm a big fan of the Versa grips. If anybody wants to do a quick search, the only other item that I would throw in that because a lot of my athletes they go to a gym, but it's not like a gym you and I go to,
Right.
and those little 1 pound micro weights.
Oh yeah, 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 absolutely. Um,
Because if you're trying to do if you're really into when you're lifting and you're trying to get those gains, jumping 2.5 pounds or 5 pounds in some cases, that could be a lot. I
sure.
mean, I've been pinned with 2.5 pounds.
Huh?
So having those little 1 pound weights to be able to just reach into your bag, throw on as a half gap between that and 2.5, I think those are that's something that anybody could use.
Yeah, there's something. Yeah, there's we picked up a set for dumbbells that takes up a little bit of hand space on the inside of the bar, or inside of the grip. They work really well. Things like deltoid work, shoulder flies, things along those lines. A 5 pound jump is enormous, right? It's a 20% jump in weight. Um, with something like a deltoid lift, like a lateral fly or whatever. Yeah, fantastic for that. And then you can actually get them, for the barbell as well. When you're starting to push up, because everything's progressive overload, right? When you're trying to add weight on a regular basis, sometimes 5 pounds is too much. So yeah, good call on that.
Well, I think we're about done on our time, Brian. Next week's Christmas, so or holidays, whatever. We won't be on, but we'll be up the following week. I don't know what we're going to talk about yet. We'll have to figure out something.
We'll figure something out. We got 2 weeks now, so all the time in the world. We'll think about it like 24 hours right before we
Yeah,
actually
right,
record.
right, right. So let's have a chat on what the first or so.
Something like that. Yeah, we'll be good to go. It'll be
Yeah,
easy.
yeah. We'll just chat like the night before. All right, guys. Hey, thanks everybody for watching. If you got any questions or comments, you can always email Brian at the Kilo Monster at gmail.com, or you can email me, Chuck at Kyle Coaching, or just throw things down in a comment and we'll get back to you.
Sounds
Well,
good.
Brian,
Thanks for joining us.
yeah, you have a Merry Christmas. Are you heading out to Portland?
Yeah, off to Portland. What is today? Thursday, Sunday. Yeah, so I'll be in
Excellent.
the Great Pacific Northwest. You staying home or you heading south?
We're heading. Well, no, we're going to head over. Well, kind of south. We're going to leave here probably Christmas Eve. Head over to West Virginia and then into Kentucky and back. So,
Okay, perfect.
all right,
Fantastic. We'll have a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everybody, and we'll see you next year.
sounds great. See you,
Cool.
man.
Take care.